A car speeds down the road at night. Sheriff Blubbs, Deputy Derland sit in their car and unsuccessfully attempt to complete a maze. Derland is initially distraught by his failure, and Blubbs tries to cheer him up by telling his partner that their time together is more than satisfactory as it is. Suddenly, a rumbling is heard, and an unseen flying creature rips the roof of the police car. Instead of reporting the incident, the duo decide to drive their makeshift convertible. The creature flies across the night sky, and the theme song plays. This is Gravity Falls Season 1, Episode 18, and I'm going to be breaking it down. This will be a new type of video for this series because I'm going to be trying to go very in-depth. So if you like it, let me know. Shout out to Gravity Falls Wiki for a lot of my phrasing, but I will also be sharing my thoughts at the end of this. In the following morning at the Mystery Shack, Stan is taking a group of tourists through the woods to see various oddities, and Mabel takes advantage of the empty house by having a dance party with Waddles until her great-uncle's return. When Stan finds the girl lying with her pet on the floor, he makes a sarcastic remark about her being weird, and the two mock Dipper's behavior in a comparison with Mabel's. Next, Waddles proceeds to chew on Stan's pant leg, thus ripping it. This annoys Stan, so he tries to send him outside, but Mabel scolds the old man for this proposal and walks away with her pig. Meanwhile, Dipper and Seuss are preparing to investigate the mysterious creature that had ripped off the police officer's roof. Thought to be hiding in the woods, they prepare a trap involving the beast taking a piece of meat and subsequently activating cameras so that Dipper and Seuss can obtain a picture of it. Back at the shack, Mabel sees a commercial for a baby carrier that is also advertised to carry pigs, so she decides to get one for Waddles, and mistakenly trusts her reluctant, irresponsible Grunkle Stan to watch her pet while she goes to the store. Dipper and Seuss soon return from their monster hunt, and Dipper volunteers to develop the film from their photos, while Seuss makes nachos in honor of their prevalence. While Dipper anxiously works to find a good picture of the beast, and comes close to successfully revealing its existence, Seuss instantly ruins their one good shot when he barges in the room to joke about eating all the nachos. The open door exposes the film to bright light, destroying the image. Dipper is upset and suggests that Seuss, who claims to have been extremely excited by the nachos, should be more careful as he doubts that they will have another opportunity to photograph the creature. Simultaneously, Stan guides a group of tourists through the shack and makes no effort whatsoever to keep an eye on Waddles. However, he and his customers soon cross paths with the animal as they learn that Waddles has eaten Stan's fake unicorn made of corn, aka Cornicorn. Disgusted by Stan's lies, the tourists storm off and Stan angrily puts the pig outside as punishment, but mostly to avoid any other potential losses of profit. Despite his initial decision of his niece's warning, Stan is shocked when the same beast Dipper and Seuss are hunting, a pterodactyl, captures and flies away with Waddles. Dipper and Seuss have caught a glimpse of the flying beast through the upstairs window, rush outside to learn of the strange occurrence, and Mabel returns from her errand to be informed of her pig's fate after an initial silence. Stan twists his actual actions of leaving Waddles outside into a fantasy situation of the pterodactyl breaking into the living room, thereby interrupting Stan nursing the pig and snatching him out of Stan's arms. Enraged, Stan proceeds to describe him fighting off the creature, albeit without success. Mabel is heartbroken, but Dipper protectively intervenes and offers to help retrieve Waddles, and Seuss joyously complies. Stan expresses doubt at first and then suggests they stay and relax, but the others convince him to come along. The gang prepares Seuss's pickup truck for the big mission, and Dipper confides to Mabel that his disbelief in Seuss's ability on such a risky adventure after the man-child nearly runs his head over. Mabel agrees and tells her brother to let him down easily, but Seuss's enthusiasm renders Dipper unable to hurt his friend's feelings. Thus, the four follow the trail of yarn left behind to an abandoned church in the middle of the woods, where they meet Old Man McGucket, who tells them he watched the creature enter an abandoned mine below. They opt to go in, albeit with more opposition from Stan, and Old Man McGucket comes with to tell weird personal stories. Within the depths of the mine, the group discover various Jurassic plants and find various dinosaurs trapped in melting sap, which they deduce to be the beast's method of survival. Most of them see the area as the danger zone, but Stan sees it as a unique business opportunity and envisions a theme park. Very Jurassic Park of him. However, he accidentally divulges of the fact that he left Waddles outside unattended. This pushes Mabel over the edge. She decides to never speak to her insensitive Grunkle again. Seuss tries to prevent them from arguing by remaining though his efforts prove ineffective when he ravels the yarn back up, thus ending the clear-cut path and accidentally breaks their lantern. Dipper grows to a level of anger equal to his sister, and he and Zeus start to fight as Mabel and Stan's conflict also escalates. Old man McGucket interrupts to say that he fixed the lantern, but he finds the pterodactyl standing behind him. He instructs the others not to make any sudden movements or loud noises, though he himself does both and causes the dinosaur to chase after them. They then try in vain to formulate a plan of escape. Though their arguing hinders them from accomplishing this. Mabel hears Waddles from a nearby nest and races down a set of rickety old train tracks to get him, and the boys closely follow her. She has only a brief moment of celebration for the reunion before the pterodactyl returns and frightens Waddles, who runs into Stan and makes both of them fall into the pits below and into a mud puddle. As Dipper, Mabel, Zeus, McGucket see the pterodactyl's eggs hatch, they panic when it eats the old man. Down below, Stan tries to use Waddles as bait to distract the beast while he escapes, but he soon realizes how much the pig means to Mabel and how much Mabel means to him, and warms up to the animal. He takes actions to a step further and acts as a human shield for Waddles and fights off the creature in a manner similar to his previous untrue tale. Dipper and Zeus make up when Zeus admits to apologies for his mistakes, and Dipper and Mabel take his advice to follow him in a straight line, as dinosaurs' eyes are too far apart, and it will not be able to see directly in front of itself. And the plan succeeds, proving Zeus does not ruin everything. Soon the trio sees Stan heroically fighting the adult dinosaur, and he even goes to punch the menace in the face as he previously said he did. Stan's blows are powerful enough to literally send the pterodactyl falling to the ground, and the others congratulate him, with Mabel and Stan bonding over Mabel's pet pig, but the moment ends as quickly as it started for the pterodactyl, manages to climb back up and chase after the Pines and Zeus. They run through the tunnels back to their starting point, and since their rope is broken, they use a geyser to shoot themselves to the surface. To speed up the escape, Zeus punches the geyser to activate it, and the group finds itself wet in various random places. The rear of the church collapses in the hole, and the Pines exit the building. Mabel and Stan talk about the happenings and play around with tree sap and ultimately get stuck. On the way home, Mabel, Stan, and Waddles sleep at the back seat, while Dipper and Zeus are ecstatic to find an authentic dinosaur tooth in Dipper's destroyed vest. Dipper agrees to Zeus's proposed nickname, the Pterodactyl Bros, and Zeus rejoices when he correctly pronounces pterodactyl. The two disregard any danger of the other dinosaurs reawakening, and McGucket is shown to have escaped the baby pterodactyl and the mine by eating his way out of the former stomach with his musical spoons. In the credits, Dipper and Zeus watch an infomercial for arm pants, which Zeus was naive enough to order, and Mabel, Stan, and Waddles play a game of poker, in which none of them follow the rules, of course. And that is Season 1, Episode 18 of Gravity Falls. Now, I want to talk about what I thought about this, because I thought this was a really fun one. I've complained in the past few episodes, actually, about how there hasn't really been much, grand stakes. And while that definitely rings true here, I am quite a sucker for dinosaur-related content and stories, especially, the references in this, like the Jurassic Park, and just the adventure aspect. Something about it just made it really enjoyable for me, where we didn't really get any further big plot developments or, world-ending stakes or stuff like that. But it was still a really fun episode to watch, and that's probably a major reason why. But another reason I really, really did like this was the furthering of relationships between the characters. Now, I hope they keep these, beats. I hope they don't just, forget about it next episode. Because I think Mabel and Stan, honestly, Stan with both of the kids, have really come a long way because, when the show started, he didn't really care at all about anything. So I definitely see him progressing more, which I really like. And it was also cool to see Zeus kind of get some spotlight, because I really love Zeus as a character. I think he's underutilized in the grand scheme of things in this show. And I really like that they included, his relationship with Dipper, because I think that's really cool. They're not that close in age, or at least it doesn't look like it. But that's kind of why it works. To me, Zeus is, a bit of an older brother, but honestly, Dipper kind of feels like the older brother in the brains department. But either way, I think Seuss is a really good character overall, and I think he's a useful one. So I'm glad that they utilized him the way they did in this episode. It's also always fun to see the return of, certain characters. I think I mentioned this in one of my really early on videos, but I liked seeing McGucket in the early videos and the police officers, and I was wondering how many characters, reoccur throughout this series. And so far, it seems like they do that a lot, which I really, really like, because it's just fun to see that. It makes the world feel a lot more alive. Whereas something like Family Guy or something where, sure, characters reoccur, but it's not very common. And even when it is common, it just feels like, it's a random placement of the character. Whereas here, it just feels like these characters are living their normal lives. Like they're living their everyday lives and they just get caught up in the story somehow. So I really like that. Overall, this was a pretty solid episode. I would probably watch it again, honestly. Although I would say it is a bit on the average side for me. I want to say 3.5. I'd give it like a 3.5, maybe even a 4. Because like I said, I would rewatch this again. It was a lot of fun, but I'm just really, really, really itching for more. And now especially we're getting really close to the season finale. So hopefully within the next, 2 episodes or so, we could see some serious, development. But I'm pretty happy with what I've seen in this one. So I am optimistic for the future for sure. So let me know what you guys thought of this one down below, both my video and the episode. And I'm excited to keep getting into the series and hopefully getting caught up so we can all talk about it together. I feel like it feels like I'm in a weird position where you guys have probably all seen this and I'm like going through it the first time, and you probably want to talk about certain things but you can't. So we'll get there together, don't worry. If you stuck around this long, I do appreciate your time, and that is about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.